Cascading a Vitodens 200E series boiler. Start by selecting your language on the lead boiler after everything's been properly wired and the correct dip switches have been turned to the on position in accordance with the installation manual. You'll then select on the lead boiler that it's the lead appliance and continue with the green check mark. Once the lead appliance comes up to the display seen in front of you, you do want to make sure you hit the check mark on the lower right-hand display so that that screen will not time out on you. In every lag boiler, you're going to go to the main display, set the application as a lag boiler. Once selected as a lag boiler, you'll be able to address ID each individual boiler all the way up to the 16 possible participants total. So one lead boiler and 15 lags total. Follow by pushing the green checkmark button, and you'll notice that each boiler has its individual ID displayed. Then back in your ViGuide app, you'll hit New System, followed by Cascade Commissioning. There is instructions on everything you've just been walked through, as you see here, by setting your first and lag boilers while selecting the language. You'll then continue to scan the QR code of just the lead boiler, making sure that QR code is available. Please see other videos if you don't have access to that QR code. You'll join the lead boiler's network. Once connected to the lead boiler, you will see the serial number. After continuing, you'll notice you see both connected boilers here. If you do not see all connected appliances, it is miswired or the dip switch settings are set incorrectly. You'll start by the system filling procedure, which will help you fill the system, leaving the three-way internal valve in a center position, filling both your domestic and heating side simultaneously. Once the system pressure has been reached at a recommended 12 to 15 psi, you'll start the venting procedure, where this will help you vent all the air out of the entire system by diverting the three-way valve fully into a heating and then fully into DHW positioning while activating the internal circulator. Continue once you're finished with that and on to basic configuration where you will select whether it's weather compensated or a fixed set point. You can change the language again here if necessary. Be able to select a date format, time, whether it's in 12 or 24 hours. Make sure you do switch it from natural to propane if doing a conversion at this step. And notes for report on that bottom, I would recommend inputting your boiler's Wi-Fi serial number so you have it on the report for later retrieval. Ensure all your electrical connections are installed and wired correctly. And move forward with your system scheme, whether using the onboard 3-zone pump control, selecting those as thermostats, or can be used for external safety. You can activate heat circuits 1 through 4 if using your accessory option pump or mixing valve controls purchased through your Viessmann wholesaler. Choose whether the unit is installed with an indirect tank or a cylinder, and then select if the boiler's indirect tank is going to be installed upstream, connected directly to the boiler, or downstream of the low loss header set up as its own zone. We'll continue to additional settings after all this has been set, where you can select a heat curve for each individual zone. You could also name them as well. When selecting your emitter type, if you select any of the predetermined curves, you will not be able to adjust them later. But by selecting custom, you can make any adjustments to that heat curve at a later date. Can select your domestic hot water temperature. Can downfire the heating output of the boiler and select the maintenance intervals either by months or by burner run hours, dependent upon your location. Next, you'll be able to perform an actuator test where you can go through, test your incoming fuel pressure, move the internal diverter valve into its heating or domestic locations, as well as operate the burner for your combustion analysis during the commissioning process. Once you've gone through your minimum and maximum firing rates and confirmed that the Lambda Pro Plus technology is operating your boiler's burner at peak combustion, you'll be able to move forward and, if necessary, by local codes, operate the high limit safety cutout test, which will operate the boiler to 210 degrees Fahrenheit, tripping the manual reset high limit. With commissioning completed of your lead boiler, you'll be able to go through and commission additional devices by selecting on the lower screen. You'll be able to select your next lag boiler and start your filling procedure. Once the filling process is completed of the lag boiler, you'll be able to move on to the same venting procedure to eliminate all air out of both sides of the system. Then you'll be able to go through your basic configurations again, ensuring that you do transfer this boiler from natural gas to propane on the lower section of that basic configuration screen. You'll then be able to conduct the actuator test as we previously have done on your lead boiler. For time limits, we did go through and say no at this time. Now commissioning is completed on your lag boiler, and it'll ask you to select a sequence strategy, dynamic or fixed. Dynamic runtime optimization will rotate your boilers as selected on your burner operating hours, and fixed would be fixed lead. Then selecting your DHW for local or global. Local is selecting and connected to the lead appliance only. Global is if it's set up after the boiler's low-loss header. That'll conclude commissioning a Cascade 200 series boiler. Look forward to more how-to videos, and thank you for choosing Viessmann.